Yeah, without a doubt. And maybe if you get lucky as well, if the game goes on, Witchbane could be pretty nice. We've seen sometimes that neutral item is getting at least available for the team that's versing the Silencer. So, yeah, it's
Hasn't been
always...
used to proper effectiveness yet, though.
Vici,
I've seen it picked up, but not properly used.
Huh.
I mean, there's another way to combo together, I suppose, and then, yeah, there it is. The Lycan eventually get picked up after they secure their laning stage. And as well, Silencer, I mean, was this the exact combo that we had? Earthshaker Silencer that cannot deal with split push at all?
Are you talking about the previous game we had?
10 seconds remaining.
Yes?
I don't, yeah, I don't remember now.
I feel like it was. Let me have a look.
Our minds were too focused on Tetris in the break.
True.
We were...
yeah, it was.
It was?
Silencer Shaker.
Yeah.
So, what better way than to just run it down? And hell, you've even got multiple ways to lock people in place with the Lion. You've got the Aether Remnant as well, which means the Skywrath Mage is going to be able to dish out a ton of damage. And oftentimes, like, Aster.Aries' goal right now is to just pick off that one target that's going to prevent them from just all-inning onto these team fights, burst them down, and then there's the resistance crumbles, basically. The Queen of Pain doesn't really do it that amazingly, and well, neither does the Shaker or the Silencer, so it's still yet to come. That's who they're going to be looking to pick off, and it's going to need to be some pretty coordinated teamwork, because Old 11, we've seen that he can look like the best player in the world, but if you give him a rough start to the game, he can also look like not so much that.
He's definitely hot or cold here for Old 11, but at least they now have a secondary way to be able to start some of their fights. Gives them a decent D push as well if he goes for Maelstrom potentially. Even Echo Saber should give them some damage. Yeah, I feel like definitely, because Silence and Earthshaker won't provide it, and even the Queen of Pain as well. Like, if there's any lane issues, then Quap can always opt into like an Aghanims to potentially deal with that. But Orchid just seems so valuable on this hero, with that we've honestly been seeing a ridiculous amount as well whenever the Queen of Pain is picked up.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think Pango going into the Maelstrom, absolutely needed. Could opt to... I mean, the Echo Saber's not bad, right? Because it also provides you with that little bit of extra strength to be able to survive any kind of ganks into you. So it's just about who starts these team fights. I feel like the team that's on the front foot in a lot of these team fights is going to be the one that are in a much more advantageous position, because, you take out the Skywrath Mage or the Lion, then suddenly Quap and Silencer have so much more room to be able to play with, and even the Pangolier. But if you take out the Pangolier, there's nothing to stop Aster.Aries from just running through you and just dealing with you, at least prior to the Blink Dagger coming out from the Earthshaker.
Now, do you feel like this is a guaranteed position 3 Lycan or not? Because when I saw this picked up with the Sky, I was a little bit confused, just because I thought they were going to go for an offlaner that sets up for the Mystic Flare.
Couldn't even go for a tri-lane, could you? Wouldn't surprise me. Lion Skywrath's pretty decent.
Yeah, and Vici Gaming, Silencer in a tri-lane, the Arcane Curse is going to feel pretty decent, but
10 seconds remaining.
At least they have this overall last pick on the 24th.
Stands ready.
Okay, so they got an Ancient Clearer now. They had a lot of physical damage already. They need a high armor on Vici and some way to take towers. That's what they're lacking.
10 seconds remaining.
And
this is maybe a troll, but no, not really.
5 seconds remaining.
Jug. I mean, eventually, if you get the Ag Shard, you're able to somewhat deal with the Lycan illusions if you've got some, not illusions, but creeps once you've got a Maelstrom or something like that. But it's kind of so-so. PA could potentially surprise. But will you get run over before you reach your timings? I like Aster.Aries' draft overall. It's just, is their execution going to be on point? And
yeah.
It has to be said, they're sitting at the bottom of the table right now with only one of these 7 teams getting knocked out before the playoffs. So this is a must-win series for them.
This is looking like a hard pick for Vici. I'm trying to think what stands out as a carry here. Not what I was considering. Again, it helps you with some of the pushing, but you have to get on top of the creep wave. is pretty beefy, which they were currently lacking. And he has heroes to make chaos to then follow up. Like, it's nice that Vici aren't really relying on PYW getting a monstrosity of an Echo Slam. Like, Old 11 can charge in with the Rolling Thunder, Mag can follow up, PYW can target one hero down. It's a lot of control through these fights that means BKBs are going to be a must here from Aster.Aries.
It's, well, they will, but RP still goes through it, and depending on when you use it, the Global Silence can just counter out a lot of the BKB. And Queen of Pain still going to be doing damage through it as well with her ultimate. So, I mean, they've got an insane amount of team fight right now in Vici. I'm just worried about what's going to happen before that. You know, Aster.Aries is going to be able to run them over before they get to this point where it feels like they're unstoppable in team fights. So very pick-off centric style for Aster.Aries. You're going to see this roaming trio of Siamese Cat, Phoenix, and Baku constantly going around the map trying to get these key pickoffs, which can then allow the Lycan to push into towers relatively unopposed. And then Ulu's going to be farming away until he hits his probably 2 or 3 item timing and then look to join in as well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get to a stage here where Vici Gaming will surpass them in the teamfight prowess because of all their ultimates, but until that stage, I mean, the Sven should hit a faster item timing compared. Mag's going to be pretty even, but I feel like Sven will have a really free lane versus the Pengoli and the Earthshaker as well. Sorry, versus the Pengo and the... Yeah, no, it is Earthshaker. So, that's my worry. Like, going late game Aster.Aries, how are you really going to be able to fare? Because it will get to a stage where you have to go 5v5. And, I mean, China has just been well known for their high execution through late game fights. And with a TI representative like Vici Gaming, they are none different in that regard.
Mm-hmm. I think they know that this is watered. They use the Lycan Wolf to scout out the tower a little bit there, so nicely done.
See, though, an early move from the Aster.Aries side. Just trying to occupy the triangle. They feel like they've got a pretty strong level 1 at the moment, and they will run into PYW. And it's now just a question of who do they want to give first blood to. And Phoenix will be the person to find the bounty. Exactly what you want to see for your position 2. Just giving him a little bit of extra help in hand here for the mid matchup against the Queen of Pain. Is he going to try this? I'm like, that's a daring task there on the Pango to go for that. So if they get first blood and 3 bounties as well for Aster.Aries, so not the worst start at all for the boys on Dial.
Especially when you consider that their early game has to go well. Ulu was kind of considering going for the Stormhammer as well to try and get a bit more damage in onto Old 11, but you just see like he's going to need to turn around. He didn't hit anyone with a shield crash either, so it's got quite a long cooldown, level 1, relative to its duration.
And that kind of, the really important thing is it looks like it kind of disrupts PYW from using that last fissure on the creeps. He did get a couple out, so there's still the equilibrium's in a decent spot, but probably not as far back as what they were hoping.
Not getting the denies off though on Aster.Aries' side, just continuing the harass in onto Old 11. He's already out of region.
Yeah, that's not a good start. He's got a Selv coming. What does PYW got? He's even got Boots and a Clarity, so they are very, very low on resources. Well, this feels like it's...
I feel like Aster.Aries could legitimately take this game.
Yeah, I don't hate their draft at all. I just still feel like they have to... I think they need the net worth lead heading into 20 minutes. Like, I think if this game continues to go later and later, then I'm worried. So then what are we looking for Vici? Like, how can they kind of disrupt the early game and put at least their stamp on potentially the first 15 minutes?
I think it's going to come off the back of some of these rotations into the mid lane by the Earthshaker. PYW, who's a very skilled Earthshaker player, was honestly more impressed by his Earthshaker gameplay compared to FY's, even though FY was the only one that's actually been able to eke out a win with it.
Many thanks to you.
We'll see how much farm priority they can give over to PYW as well. You know, he does have a solid position too that he can help out with the gank opportunities. Might even see him look to TP down bot at some stage and potentially, you know, get involved there as well, because to see the Lycan early should have a decent amount of regen, of course, and once he starts getting more points in the Feral Impulse, then Lycan will be able to sustain through the little chip damage that Vici have. But the one thing he has to be cautious of is that Shockwave into Skewer drag back.
I'm just never a fan of any hero that can just queue up his entire like first 30 minutes of a game in terms of items, and
Yeah,
then just
very
be
dope.
like, "Yep, sounds pretty legit every single time."
It's just the classic cookie cutter build now on the Lycan. So it really has to feel like Lord Gaben was just... He felt bad for getting rid of the Zoo meta, literally just abolishing the Necro books. And he's like, you know what, we'll buff up the Helm of the Overlord. Like, we'll bring back some versatility for the Zoo meta.
I think it needs to be an option. I don't want it to be the first choice. That's my my gripe with Zoo right now.
Again, this time he'll get him under the tower, so a lot more damage is getting dished out here in the bottom lane, and in fact, that's enough. The tower will get the last right click, so they'll share the bounty, but still, extra intel for DY, you'll take that.
Hey, we're at the early point into the Glaives of Wisdom. Just changing things up. I like it. You obviously don't even need to use it all that much. I think just considering how Vici might be looking to get these kills super early on with the use of that skewer and the slow from the Arcane Curse, you're in a position where you can look to get some of these early kills. And like, it doesn't have the greatest mana pool or int game.
Same as Cat. Oof! That's a lot of damage.
Back to Earth.
Nicely done. And we're speaking about PYW seeing how much farm he could, you know, get out of this game on the Earthshaker, and giving him some kills is definitely going to increase that potential blink timing.
It's actually skilling up the Glaives of Wisdom on DY. Very unorthodox.
Very interesting, yeah, because we saw, at least in the Silencer vs Lycan game before, that the Silencer did point an early point in Glaives, but I cannot remember if how many more he went into in that game.
Not in the early game. It was just the one. If it was me, I would just put the one. Especially, like, I can kind of see why he might want to do it. If he's able to land some right clicks onto the Lycan, then, you know, you might be able to shape shift, but not do too much after that. But the issue is, you're probably not going to be in a position to get those temporary int steals off before the team fight, you know, once he is looking to do those sorts of combinations.
Top lane again. Yo, only 3 kills at the moment, these first 5 minutes in, but you just see how much consistent harassment and chip damage is getting dished out. Do you feel like there's going to get to a stage where we might see an overflow of kills start occurring, or are we looking for some rotations potentially from the supports to now dissolve the side lanes?
I think particularly the Lycan Ultimate is the key one that we're going to be looking for here, as well as Pango and Silencer picking up theirs. I think neither team feels super competent to group up together before those are online. Ori doing a good job. He's a full level ahead of Phoenix, which is kind of surprising to me. Even pump faking the Sonic Wave into him, trying to bait out that Dissimulate.
Yeah, I mean, you see the 12 denies the moment here for Ori, so it's quite the matchup, and they picked it into it, so you know the lanes is not going to look good, at least for the Void Spirit, but his game can start to pick up. That's a great timing to pick an Illusion Rune.
Mm-hmm.
See how much damage Phoenix...
Deep, putting a little bit of harassing here. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Barco's a little low on mana, although the silence.
Now this time he doesn't have the Illusion. Playing with the one charges, the Infused Raindrop as well. A beautiful lineup for the double Sonic Wave, and now Ori is going to blink back in to claim the kill on Phoenix. Baku just gets alive on a slither of HP, though.
He'll be able to get away, yoink away that bounty rune. But again, it's just another kill attempt that hasn't been obtained. Top side, though, you've got the God Strength now popped with the Siege Creep and the kill onto Old 11. So Queen of Pain forced to rotate up top. They'll communicate that she doesn't have the Sonic Wave available, but it's still going to be enough to force a non-ideal God Strength coming through there from Ulu. Or are they actually going to make an aggressive play here?
Ori. Looks like he's just given some time over to PYW. They're rolling Thunder. How close is he to it? He is very close. I don't know if Ori still wants to stay. Looks like he just to refresh in the bottle and maybe back to farming some of the stacks. He's got 3 points in Scream, so should be able to do that at a efficient rate.
I have to wonder if this Last Word second skill point is sorry, the Glaive's second skill point was a misclick, because Last Word seems really good this game. You know, you're able to get it onto the Phoenix before onto Phoenix rather before he's able to use his Dissimulate, and then suddenly he's locked in place for at least 3 seconds, which is all the combo time that you need against someone as squishy as him. There's no save right now on Aster.Aries.
It's going to be a big issue as well because they are very reliant on their spells. The immense amount of spell casters that if they can't get these abilities off, then there could be a bit of lack of damage here from Aster.Aries in the early game. And Siamese Cat will get brought down here underneath the T1. Will he actually? Ori wasn't able to get enough damage there with that last use of the dagger, and now they're turning it back around. He's got the blink back up and available. Unfortunately for PYW, however, slowed down from the concussive shot. Boots, is it going to be enough to help him out? Phoenix just drags him back to his demise, that long-range Aether Remnant.
Powerful friend to you, Earthshaker.
I'm really liking the way that Ori's going about this laning stage as well, right? Not only getting a bunch of those denies, but just even little things like Skywrath used the Arcane Bolt onto him, and he wasn't in danger of dying in that team fight, and he knows that he just needs to continue dominating Phoenix as much as possible. Won't be able to protect the Observer Ward, but he switched out the infused raindrops before the Arcane Bolt hit him, just so that he would have a little bit of extra sustain once Phoenix comes back into the lane.
Yeah. And you were saying earlier that it's just these little things that a lot of the high-level players doing, you know, can really start to snowball into an advantage. But they are looking to try and push Ulu out to the jungle. At least the nice thing about the Sven is that he's able to get very easily farmed back once he finds some stacks. Do they have, what do they got at the moment? Double of the hard and the medium. Double of the ancients as well. And for Radiant, they haven't put as much priority on trying to stack up for the Magnus.
Who knows though. And he knows
Mag's in
this
trouble.
taken over to the right.
They're even going to pop the shapeshift. Probably not required, but they can turn that ultimate usage into an early tier 1 tower.
Can't crit towers, unfortunately, but he'll clear out the creep wave really quickly and allow the rest of the creeps to do the majority of the work. But yeah, they scouted out the fact that these stacks were starting to build up. Great deep Observer Ward there, so Ori, again, able to take away a bunch of the farm from Aster.Aries' side. This is exactly what they need to do. The fact that they're only less than 1,000 gold behind is a really good position for them to be in right now on Vici.
And we have a Mage Slayer getting built up from Ori. So this is going to be interesting to see. Not like an Orchid itemization that we've been seeing a consistent amount.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it in the draft, right? We were going to see Baku, Siamese Cat, and Phoenix all grouping up together trying to get kills. And as long as he's in a good position there on the Queen of Pain to be able to counter that out, then he's going to be able to, A, reduce the damage that they do, but also be a lot more sustainable himself with a 20% magic resist.
Lycan might be in trouble here. Great placement of the fissure. Oh no, Old 11 bumped him over.
To the other side.
Oh, maybe not great placement of the fissure. That's I guess a bit unfortunate though. Dire looking to connect with the Lycan, but they are a bit too far away on Baku and Ulu. Still though, picking up a kill. It does bring 3 of the Vici Gaming heroes to connect with the Pain Glee to find that, but how's the farm on PYW going at the moment? He's got 1,100 gold. Might end up falling mid though, so that is going to delay the blink timing, although Ori to the rescue. Blinks in, forces them to retreat to safety, and looks like PYW even getting involved to help the kill, just nicking the fissure.
To assist there, forcing the Dissimulate as well out from Phoenix, otherwise he would have been in danger of going down himself with the Last Word being able to connect through, but he did also have an Illusion Rune bottled, probably one of the best things that you can have against a Silencer.
And meanwhile, this is just a lot of space here for the Magnus, as Poyoyo only third in net worth at the moment, but his farm should continue to ramp up now with the Echo Saber completed. Again, not as many stacks for him. And what about the Sven? What's he got at the moment? The Mask of Madness, Echo Saber completed. And probably just going to see, this feels like a very common build right now we're seeing on position ones. The Echo into the BKB, disassemble the Echo, and then have this really early magic immunity to get involved as well. Unfortunately for the Magnus, he's going to get caught out up top. They try and go up the global silence to allow Poyo to skewer into the TPR, but unfortunately for him, the Lycan can hunt him through the tree line, and that is a big one to find.
Big one to find, and a big ultimate to not have on DY with the global silence off to the side. I mean, you mentioned before, right? The Echo Saber into the BKB on Ulu. Once he disassembles that, he'll still have his Mask of Madness available as well on top of that. So you're getting maximum value with any kind of mask builder.
Is this Maelstrom complete on Old 11? Okay, so we were kind of bringing up in the draft that the Pango might need the Maelstrom to help out with the inevitable push that's going to come through and just deal with the zoos from the Lycan. So this will definitely increase their probability of being able to keep their towers alive.
BD, we can see it's not a roaming trio, just the duo at the moment. Maybe thinking that with that double damage available on Phoenix, they're going to be able to go for a kill. But again, they're actually going in onto the silencer.
DY.
Give the death, not needed.
Just a trade across the map. Radiant, unfortunately not able to get more out of that with the objective mid, or a little bit of chip damage, but still continuing with the space. So, and there's pretty much a kill a minute at the moment in this game one, but who do we feel like is more happy with the status quo of this game?
I feel like Aster.Aries probably wanted to be a little bit further ahead. You know, you've got a Lycan and you've only been able to take one tower, which is kind of unfortunate, having died twice. He's really going to ramp up, though, in about 750 gold when he finishes that Helm of the Overlord, but it's not going to be... maybe it'll be in team fights, but it could just be on the rest of the Aster.Aries lineup to get a lot done. As, well, speaking of the shapeshift, he's looking to use it, but I'm not sure who you're trying to catch here. I feel like he needs to be playing away from the rest of his team. I mean, they're getting a smoke, and they're going to try and make the best out of the remainder of the shapeshift, but it's only got half duration left. It's going to be into a smoke as well with the Blink Dagger on Poyoyo, freshly picked up.
They'll run straight into the Lycan here. Dropping the RP, but the global silence at least overlaps the extra potential to try and keep this Lycan alive. Meanwhile, with the backline, however, the Queen of Pain falling low. They need to tank up the Mystic Flare, and it's not enough as Ori will lose his life. Vici Gaming looking to try and rally back around the T2 tower here. They've used already up a lot of their ultimates, so I don't know if they can go back in.
Aster can, though. They can just push it into mid. They've got a siege creep joining them. They don't have the global silence. They don't have the RP to contend against. No Sonic Wave, no Rolling Thunder. It's going to be everything onto PYW if they're looking to turn this around, and it looks like they might.
PYW, big Echo Slam, but where's the damage follow-up? Instantly, Void Spirit has the answer. They're still able to kill off the Sven. Poyo is even able to cancel the TP on Phoenix, and without any Astral Sept charges, he should get slowly brought down. There's a shockwave from afar. Poyo, a big double kill for him to 5, and an even bigger Echo Slam, though, from PYW.
Money changes hands.
That's all they had left. That was their last hope. And, well, some not so great positioning from Ulu there, just standing right inside the mass horde of Lycan units. He could have just stand a little bit off to the left, maybe have Lycan move his units to the right, and he doesn't die. He's able to turn around, use the war cry, and buff up the rest of his team so that they can go for a kill attempt.
But we are close to the Overlord here. So maybe... They might... How close is Sven to BKB too? So yeah, he's very close as well. I'd really like to see Dye make a smoke in probably the next minute once they get these items, because still... By then that might be the ultimate still on cooldown for Radiant, and also Poyo was a little bit away from his own BKB. So this does feel like the timing is starting to be reached here on Aster.Aries.
And what, less than 10 gold away now. think he's just trying to push out the top side a little bit. Might cost him his life, though, as there's 4 heroes on Vici Gaming's side. As the Helm of the Overlord starts coming out to him, he'll eventually be able to pick up this
Radiant's
Ancient Black
courier
Dragon, though.
has
The
been
best
killed.
possible option for him to get at this stage of the game.
Radiant's
Honestly, maybe even the
middle
Granite
tower
Golem
is
might be
under
better.
attack.
I don't think pushing is their
Dire's structures
the
are
negatives that are
fortified.
happening right now. It was actually going to take that gigantic Ancient stack.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Old 11 scouting out Lycan behind the tower, so they know that he's not here to protect Baku as another jump in. Even Void Spirit's gonna be cautious here, poor Yo-Yo. Thinking about dropping the RP, he's pump faking. Oh, Shapeshift was used there, along with Rolling Thunder. Okay, so yeah, a lot of abilities getting forced out on the back lines.
It's only less than 1k. It's, you know, you might be thinking, you know, scores are even, but I mean, the scalability of Vici Gaming's lineup is something that I'm always going to be quite scared of. You know, the Helm of the Overlord, we haven't felt its impact just yet, given that Sven did take away all of those ancient creeps, and, well, luckily enough, it's another Ancient Black Dragon.
Gold for me.
Radiant's bottom tower
We'll see
is
how-
under attack.
If the Lycan can do what we've seen so often now with this new build and the Ancient Black Drag, Danog, he got the small one.
Yeah, I thought he might. I was like, I hope he doesn't misclick this, and, well, I wonder if that's a bit of a rage pause coming out there. Oh no, it's multiple. Maybe they're having a brawl.
Dude. Because now what do you do? Like, now Sven's in the area and he's got nowhere to farm because Lycan's taking his hard camp and he's probably like, bro, like, I know I messed up, but I really don't want you to kill off the Ancients. And Sven's like, I don't know, I need my own game. Like, like that's... Oh no.
If you put everything into buying up this one item, right, and you mess up a click where you were under no pressure, that's going to tilt anyone, you know? So 6,300 gold, I mentioned it before, not really liking these cookie cutter style of builds where you can just go from minute 0 and you know exactly what you're going to do every single time. But there's a bit of karma there, you know, these filthy Lycan spam.
You really want to put him in the grave, don't you? Any little opportunity you get to talk smack
are
on him,
scanning.
you'll give it to him. I respect it.
I wonder if we'll see any chat wheels or anything like that as soon as this Ancient Black Drake gets shown in the lane.
Their own banter. But China's very passive. We don't see as many tips as well here. I guess it's only just the question mark all chats potentially when you're reverse sweeping teams.
He's moving pretty fast though. Look at him go.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's still
chasing him down, and the ping came out onto it. And they're like, "Wait a second, what?"
all right. Well,
Well, he's gone now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
He
so
got the proper Thunderhide.
do you reckon they would DC again if
Thunderhide's
he?
fine.
It is definitely fine, but if he didn't get the bigger one, do you reckon we could have seen another pause coming out? They're like, you know what, man, we're gonna give you one goddamn more chance. Like, you do it again, I don't know. This 6,000 gold item is not really paying off.
I think he would have just tried to play it off and not say anything for the next minute or so until he's able to get another one.
Yeah.
A little something extra.
That's the feels when you use like a BKB, like just accidentally misclick. You try and play it off like no one's watching, but all your teammates here across the map. Old 11's underneath the ward. Global Silence again trying to disrupt the chain follow-up, but a BKB committed for Ulu.
I mean, this is big though. 40 seconds on the sidelines, God Strength used. You've got the Frenzy available with the Ancient Thunderhide, of course. He's just going to buff up that Sven, and you're going to take that Roshan really quickly. There's not too much that they can do to stop it, although they're going to try. Smoke coming through. Blink Dagger available on both the Earthshaker and the Magnus, but I mean, it feels kind of hard to be able to
Someone's
contest
gonna pop
into this.
this.
It's so much damage. Yep, good positioning by Siamese Cat.
Radiant do have a pretty good ward in the river. They see Phoenix positioning at the moment. Can they burst him down from 4 to 0? They're ever going to drop the RP. Puyo hasn't dragged it back just yet. With the skewer not being used, he's waited till the last second, misses
He's
it.
alive?
I mean, now he's after safety. The Essence Ring and Astral Step, and meanwhile, I mean, they just lost the Lion, but you don't care about that. You got Ages, you kept the Void Spirit life, you're happy.
It was a good immediate use of the BKB as well by Poyoyo, but just where was the damage from the rest of the team? It felt like everyone got kind of sucked into killing this target that's not going to matter in the long run in the Lion when you had a Void Spirit up for grabs. And with that not dying, he's just getting closer and closer to picking up his Aghanim Scepter. Gonna make life even harder for the backlines on Vici Gaming. And well, there's the proper Black Dragon. It's Drogon, it's not Viserion, it's not Rhaegar. Rhaegar? Rhaenys?
I think it's
Rhaegal. Rhaegal.
Is it Rhaegal?
Yeah, Rhaegar's Daenerys's brother.
And
Uncle.
I watched Game of Thrones in too long. Oh, we gonna speak about the last couple of seasons?
I mean, there's been no other thing in pop culture that's dropped off quite as far. Maybe Lost, but that's about it.
Were you hurt badly by it, like a lot of people? Because a lot of people felt like their lives literally were lost their sky. Oh, a quick pick off answered across the map as we did see Old 11 fall.
No, because I kind of saw it coming, and it gets to that point where it's like, I don't want to say it was so bad it's good, but it was worth it for the memes. You know? If you're on Reddit, make sure you subscribe to the Free Folk subreddit. It's just like the alternative to just the standard Game of Thrones one, and it's all memes, and it's all about people being frustrated about the terrible writing of those last two seasons.
Still has to be up there in the top shows. I mean, quite the game, quite the storyline in Game of Thrones, and what we're even gonna have here as well. I mean, Aster.Aries, they're keeping themselves pretty even, only just down a very minimal amount of net worth lead. How big do you feel like this Aegis though is for the storyline of this game? Do you feel like this is where Aster.Aries have to get probably all the outer towers and go up to about a 5,000 lead if they want to try and take this game one?
Again, you're playing as a Lycan, right? You need these outer towers, and I like the fact that they're ignoring the top side. Old 11, he's got the Blink Dagger.
Lycan, can he get the ultimate off? He can. Poyo's gonna jump. No, the fissure block isn't gonna matter. The Rolling Thunder as well clipped him on the last second. I thought that was going to be a bit of an issue there, but again, another heavy commitment. They Rolling Thunder, Global Silence, and he's only up in 35 seconds. Yes, he did use Shapeshift for that, but I feel like Aster, they can still stick around.
Yeah, but Drogon's just doing his thing in the mid lane, though. Just keeping it pushed in, forcing a TP rotation back here from Ori. Actually, not a TP, he just blinked over. They might look to go with the remnants of this Aegis under the cover of a smoke. 4 of them rotating through, trying to find someone on their own. And the one that they've got the most information about is Ori. So if they can find him out with a blink stun through from this Lion, that could be huge.
He's got the BKB coming out on the courier, but it will not be fast enough as an instant pick off, no messing around. As Aster.Aries jump and bring him through the burst thanks to the Mystic Flare and that Finger of Death, and they're even going to go show more hate around the triangle, just continuing to block up the camps.
Unfortunately for him, the Mage Slayer does not do enough when you've got all of that focus in onto you. Mystic Flare, Finger of Death, stun, burst combination. It's just so much to deal with, and well, it feels like they've got one more fight on Aster.Aries while they've still got this Aegis for a minute remaining. God Strength available. Shapeshift going to be up in 25 seconds. Even just having that aura from the Helm of the Overlord can be quite impactful.
Radiant structures are
Liking this from Poyoyo though, keeping the lane pushed out so that one tier 2 tower is all they're going to lose.
Jump in, Phoenix and Siamese Cat. A simultaneous jump to try and kill off the silencer, but yours is just off the mark, and in fact it enables Void Spirit to get his defensive item off. Is it fast enough, however, as Poyoyo is able to lock him through with the RP? So they've used it a lot to kill off Phoenix, and is it going to cost them their remaining heroes here on Vici? But PYW has still got the Echo in the tank, but he doesn't get the fissure off afterwards. So with the lack of the chain control, Ulu can turn with the BKB and crit him down.
And that was all on Baku. Perfect use of the Ancient Seal. He's gone in for the Aether Lens, so wanting that little bit of extra security from being able to cast from long range, and that enabled him to prevent the chain lockdown coming through from the fissure. So good turnaround potential there. Not sure what the hell that means, but
you're on the duty.
All right, give me a moment. Loading up the old Google Lens.
What's Lycan's not moving too? Is he? Okay, I was gonna say, is he pulling out some more chat? Maybe some banter, Siamese cat. Okay, that's one thing. I want to see more personalities in Dota. I want to feel the excitement that we see all these other esports, Call of Duty, Gears of War, and oh my god, you see the VODs of that, or all the players just getting up on stage yelling across from the arena.
What a great mammoth, apparently. So maybe he's just commenting on Magnus being able to catch out the high priority target in the Void Spirit.
Scanning.
I wonder, Vici Gaming didn't really have a response to that. I don't think there were any tips. Yeah, no tips. In fact, Ulu did tip off Poyoyo, so yeah, I guess the mammoth and the Magnus.
There we go. They're continuing to push into the bottom side of the map. Again, it's a lot to have to deal with now that you don't have RP, you don't have Echo Slam, and you still got the Lycan, you still got all those creeps that are going to be assisting your push forward, and no glyph available as well. Although, is he making a play to try and lock down this Sven, maybe trying to bait some TP rotations to help while they get something in exchange? Or just delaying. They still get the trade though.
I have a very good ward by the outposts. They're going to try and lock down Earthshaker.
Support duo.
So an early
DY?
pick off, and that's a really valuable target as well to bring down in the Earthshaker.
Alright. He just had his Echo Slam come off cooldown as well, and they were able to retain their outpost. So a lot more map control right now for Aster.Aries. It's still 15-15. It's still a slight net worth lead for them, but you feel like this game could go either way. I'm sure they were hoping for, perhaps a little bit more of an advantage, maybe taking those towers somewhat earlier.
And the rest of the cores on Aster.Aries have kind of fallen off in farm. Like, Sven is by far the king of this game with 1900 net worth. In fact, he's 4,000 ahead as well of his counterpart Poyoyo position 1. But do you feel like it might bite him in the back late game with the other cores not being able to keep up with his level of pace at the moment?
I would say the Void Spirit perhaps a little bit more, but his role in these team fights is just to create some backline disruption. So he's going into, the Aghanim Scepter, he's going into the, he's already got the Aghanim Scepter, going into the Aeon Disc after that, which means that until Nullifiers come out, it's literally impossible to lock him down and chain him from 100 to 0. He's always going to be able to get the Dissimulate, Yules, Astral Step, Essence Ring off to be able to save himself. It's just about what can the rest of the team do in that meantime. Right now, they're moving forward.
My god, it's another aggressive blink. Odd 11 though, as soon as he sees any signs of Aster.Aries, he wants to try and charge up that Rolling Thunder, but unfortunately for Vici, that is a completely wasted ultimate. Same with the Shapeshift as well, so both teams, we haven't really seen a big team fight commence in at least 5 or so minutes now. It's just kind of been some ultimates traded back and forth.
And now, without that Rolling Thunder, they're looking to move on forward. They're going to catch out the Silencer. Probably could have been a better target, but so good positioning from DY to be able to be the closest one to the enemy team, just to be able to give that extra layer of information. And now, they can even just backdoor this top tower. The glyph's about to refresh anyway, so you may as well take it.
Overall, though, been very impressed with how Aster.Aries have been prioritizing a lot of the supports. I mean, unfortunately, there for the Silencer was just the one that wasn't able to disengage fast enough, but we see the emphasis through these team fights. Like, you have the Earthshaker and the Silencer to enable you very heavily, and Aster.Aries have done a formidable job at making sure they can target him down. Ulu down, but they have the detection on the outskirts. They do. Poyoyo, Skewer, gets him some more distance, even has to commit the RP. And in fact, BYW will be the sacrificial lamb there. But meanwhile, up to the Radiant Triangle, they've caught out the Pangolier as well. So Aster.Aries, a couple of pickoffs here, and Roshan's going to be up in 10 seconds. So they should lead this advantage into an objective now.
Yeah, that Aether Remnant, going to reveal that information. There we go. Gets claimed. Immediate convergence in there while they've still got, God Strength is gone, but they're able to claim up the important area, the triangle. put their flag down and make sure that it's so much harder for Vici Gaming to try and contest. They're even just saying, who gives a crap about this ancient granite golem? Just get into Roche. We need to take it before they're able to come back with all of their big ultimates. But we have to remember that's minus the RP. Yo still having that. He was able to build up the Silver Edge at least, so you've got a lot more burst. You can man fight somewhat easier into the Sven, considering he's not going to be cleaving up the rest of your team. But that second Roche going the way of Aries.
And who do we want to see the shard on? Looks like Ulu's backpacked it at the moment, and in fact, he looks like he is going to acquire it.
Yeah, why not? Silencer can't stop you with the Ghost Scepter anymore. Pango can't stop you with the Eul Scepter. It's gonna be quite nice.
Also, 4-second reduction in the Stormhammer, just helping with the chain lockdown and making sure the Sven doesn't get kited. This is a real big worry right now with how farmed Ulu is. I mean, he's continuing to distance himself from the Magnus, and I mean, this hero late game is doing an immense amount of damage. I mean, we're seeing just solely based off some of the crits as well that he's getting passively.
The one thing that's not going Aster.Aries' way right now is the tier 3 neutral items that they got for a Sven. Garbage, absolute garbage. So he's holding on to a blast streak right now. Not the greatest, you know, the extra armor, it's kind of nice, but it's not the right clicks that are going to be taking you down. It's all this burst magic damage that's just going to come one after the other. Yep. And there's nothing that's going to protect him against that, and there's nothing that's just straight up buffing his right click damage.
So what do we feel like is the ideal fight here for Vici Gaming, even though they're going up against the Aegis disadvantage? How do they need to find the angle and take this fight?
Well, they're going to go outside the base. I'm not sure if this is the play. I mean, do they have information on the Sven? They do. They've got this high ground ward, so they know he's a little bit away from the team. So if they can catch someone out, this is how it is. Divide and conquer.
Straight on Baku.
Baku's going to fall.
BKB pop, so they're able to deal with the Skyth Mage. It's a lot of their burst. They want to try and target down the Lycan as well, but a BKB completely wastes the Echo Slammer. Meanwhile, again, the Rolling Thunder from Old 11, just giving them no value out of this. So Radiant, as fast as they got into the fight, they have to reset here.
Money changes hands.
Not looking good. Again, Sven wasn't part of that at all, so he still has the God Strength available, still has BKB, and still a good 3 minutes left on that Aegis. So no Rolling Thunder, no Echo Slam available. They can just go on forward. I think this is the exact play that they need to be making. As long as they're staying split up on Aster.Aries, they should be just fine. Can't get multiple person RP. Even just there, walking next to Phoenix, that's a mistake. You just got to stay well away. Constantly split.
Phoenix is looking for a way into the fight. He'll find another silencer, skewer back, but the instant hex, they lock in Poyoyo. He's still able to get the RP onto 2, but the BKB is protecting both. And where's the damage fall? Once again, Old 11. This time the Rolling Thunder looking to lock in Phoenix, but it's a little bit too late with the chain lockdown. Phoenix to simulate back out to safety. Now they're prioritizing Ulu. A blink on forward. He saw as the Aegis is protected, but look at the chain. Old 11 just in the nick of time protects Ori. Out of the first life is taken away, but they lay it down the 8th Remnant. Ulu being able to get back to safety, but he doesn't have to BKB, so he's going to have to look to turn and man fight, but they've got the constant lockdown once again. He can't get the sustain. The life steal's not there. Finally, they'll kill off Ulu. Phoenix still, he'll make it away with the TP, but what a beautiful high ground defense from Vici Gaming.
It was, and I gotta say it, they just shouldn't have been anywhere close to each other. Phoenix as well as the Sven. It's just like, he's able to disrupt so much if he's just slightly further away from each other. Those multiple person silences, brilliant skewer coming out from Poyoyo, getting them all together into the RP, global silence afterwards when the BKBs were popped, which meant that, well, they were food to start with, and then able to clean up 2 lives.
Dire's middle tower.
And that was a much better use of the Rolling Thunder through that fight. Like we've seen previously, it's been big ol' whiffs, unfortunately for Old 11, but he got an immense amount of value out of that 15 talent with the +3 second duration. Dude's just charging it up. If you have a teammate doing that on a team, you get a little frustrated. Like that's a loud sound. I know they have a little bit of fun. They feel himself after a team fight one like that, but you're like, alright man, come on, you gotta chill out sometimes.
See, I'm a tryhard, so anything that's going to assist my team with winning,
Dire's
I'm all here
bottom
for.
Sure.
tower is under
And
attack.
he was just there wanting to be able to immediately back up any kind of tower siege.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
That's it. I love offlaners especially that do their role. And their role is to enable kills, enable pushes super early on, and tank up a decent amount of damage. And Old 11, for all of his occasional faults that he sometimes has, he does that role to perfection. Just wanting to stand in on the front lines, happy to throw his body in the way because he has trust in the rest of his team.
And my worry is still for Aster.Aries with this net worth disparity between their cores is really starting to highlight themselves, especially after that fight. I mean, when Phoenix wasn't able to bring down the supports, we saw that his lack of involvement meant that it was very difficult for Sven to have free space to be right-clicking heroes. And like, you want as much time as possible through this BKB on Sven just to crit down one and maybe find a secondary kill through that BKB as well. But it's going to get even more difficult now once this reaches 6 seconds, and in fact, it's there now.
So what I want Aster.Aries to be doing is, they've essentially done the start of it, right? They've got good vision around the high ground. They're gonna D-ward eventually up here, as we've got Ori standing on the high ground acting as a bit of a scout. But they've also got control over the triangle. They need to be playing for the next Roche on Aster.Aries, because what that's going to allow them to do is probably what they should have done the first time. A, space better. You know, that sometimes it takes a mistake to be able to learn how to correct it. But also, Lycan felt like he had a very minimal involvement in that team fight. So he just needs to be on one of the other lanes, split pushing and ratting with this gigantic army that he's built up for himself.
Ooh. Thought they were going to keep
He's
going.
even got the Ag Scepter on the Lycan as well now, by the way. So he's going to be wolf spiting that Sven, providing him with a lot more of this team fight impact.
Oh no. How do you kite him now? Like, do you actually feel like they need a Abyssal? And yeah, okay, Mag is going for it. Phoenix, double jump in. He'll just clip the silencer, and again, no messing around. As Siamese Cat wants to instantly purge off the silencer's life and get rid of him.
Again, you're feeling very safe on Phoenix, right? You've got the Spell Prism, you've got the Aeon Disc, you've got multiple ways to be able to get out of all of these engagements. They're going to push forward, and they don't know that he doesn't have buyback, so... Well, it's always a little bit of a rough situation. I feel like they're still perfectly capable of playing a bit more safe, play into that next Roche. And more importantly, get a good neutral item for this Sven, because he doesn't have anything right now. He's holding a ninja gear. That is not a good item for him, but it's been the best so far.
What about Radiant? If they got any decent ones? Oh, Levelers. Kind of dope for the Mag. Not even holding the Penta Edge Sword. It's that good for him.
That Stormcraft is really good for the Skarath, actually. Oh, Flicker. That's the one. That's the one that Sven needs. He's just going to be able to break out of any kind of silences that you're going to be throwing at him.
And even maybe just to help sidestep like the Rolling Thunder, potentially, or a jump in from Mag, like maybe that little quick offset with your position.
He's already going to have the Wolf Spite, though.
That's
so
very
he's
true.
got plenty of speed. But that Flicker just makes his life incredibly easier compared to how he was able to take that previous fight. Quickish Roche as well. It was only 30 seconds for the full respawn time, so they're going to be in position. They've got some decent high ground wards. It has to be on the defensive side this time, though, as the high ground wards on the Radiant side of the map were previously removed by that Gem of True Sight that Ori's carrying. What's the key thing to look at right now is what's, excuse me, the buyback status look like. Everyone's got it except for Pango, Skywrath, and Silencer. So all the cores having it, but importantly, the Vici cores, they're the ones that don't need the steroid from the God Strength to be able to have that increased impact. Same sort of thing with the Lycan, right? He needs that shapeshift to be able to get maximum effectiveness out of these team fights. So a lot more value on the Vici Gaming buybacks right now. They see them walking on forward. Do they have the vision? Baku is going to at least be able to remove that high ground Observer Ward.
The lanes are in a pretty good spot here for Dire at the moment. Ori, they'll get some vision.
Find someone, could they? Phoenix.
Phoenix
Found
gonna
Old
jump
11
again.
first.
Onto Old 11.
Where's Baku,
The
though?
Aeon Disc gonna be enough to keep him live this time. He's able to charge up the Rolling Thunder and get out of the Roche pit. They have guided them through the start of the fight on Vici. Now with the Sonic Wave, Ori's getting ripped apart though. There's the Wolf Bite. And now with the double Lycan Wolves, they're continuing to hunt the backline. Silence is going to be the next target here, DY. Forced off over the high ground. Who do they want to go for next? Even PYW as well. A successful retreat from 3 of the heroes, but unfortunately DY will not be as fortunate.
Radiant's
We've gone
top
even
tower
better.
is
I mean,
under
Baku,
attack.
he's got a Blink Dagger, so he could have easily been in position to be able to quickly take out the Pangolier when he was in a much rougher position. But you're still going to have a few seconds left of that God Strength, and Sven just rips apart this Roshan, who's carrying an Ag Scepter, by the way.
Oh,
We want to be picking that one up. I don't know if you want to go full committal with the Sven. You've already got the Wolf Bite.
Siamese Cat. They caught out the Earthshaker. This is a big kill. Mystic Flare isn't enough to bring him down. Phoenix, he can target through PYW, but now he's heavily committed away from the backup of the
Still has
team.
Aeon though.
Aeon giving him some space, so the Astral Step charge is back up and available here. Looking for a TPR. Do they have any way to cancel it?
Oh,
They
nice.
do. The fissure from afar, the buyback on PYW coming in clutch there to kill off the position 2 who doesn't have a buyback, but they still give away the third Roshan of the game.
Oh, I was about to say, why doesn't he have buyback? Because he had it before that fight. The entire time, he'd just bought a Hex, and it just hadn't come out to him yet, so he didn't get the effectiveness of it, and he's now going to have the risk of them just running him down. That's a big blunder coming through there.
Looks like
More
his
power cleave damage as well. Poor Yo-Yo reaching his level 25. A lot of experience going the way of Vici Gaming from that. Bringing up the Pangolier and the Queen of Pain to their 25s as well.
and DY is level 16. Poor guy.
Wop in particular, that's big. Like, having the spell block against the likes of this, the Yule Scepter, the Hex, the Lion
Dire's
Spike,
turret
that,
has been
everything,
killed.
everything. Mystic Flare, Ancient Seal. Super impactful for Quap to have this. Her survivability just increased incredibly.
And almost AC completed as well. They've caught the Lycan. Man, what a catch from Poyoyo. So able to get the Shapeshift, BKB with the instant answer in the magic immunity control. And do they still have that little bit of damage? PYW, the totem from out of range will find him.
Game's still very winnable for both teams, to be honest. It feels like Aries, they're happy to sit on their back lines. They know how hard it is to push into this lineup, especially when you're lacking ultimates on Vici Gaming's side. But well, Aster, they're still in a very good spot right now. And what a game this would be to be able to pick up from one of the teams that are heading towards the top of the leaderboards in the I-League Season 2. I think they were just out of range with the gem there on Siamese Cat to be able to catch out that vision that they'd recently placed up in the mid lane.
Amazing what you found laying around.
Gonna get
Catch
Poyoyo.
here. He has buyback
Skills on
if they do
cooldown.
catch him.
He's pretty beefy. Instant global silence. It's not gonna matter. Zulu gets the God Strength off. That's a big kill to find, man. Aster.Aries, what a smoke pick off from them.
And global used as well, on top of that. Very value as well that Siamese Cat was running around carrying the gem as well, because he's actually holding onto the Trickster Cloak right now on the Magnus, so he could have nearly gotten away. He even was able to miss a few of the chances,
Wait,
of
Alt
the
11
swings,
too?
excuse me, that Ulu was going for.
What do you want to see Aster.Aries do now in the next 70 seconds that they have this big advantage?
I mean, right now it feels like they just should be trying to bait as much as possible. You know, get the buyback coming out from the Magnus, because you know that he still doesn't have RP for a little bit. So if you're able to get him to buyback, make him act a little bit scared, at worst, you're going to get a tier 3. At best, you get a tier 3 and a buyback.
Dire are scanning.
It still feels so troublesome to be fighting into the Vici Gaming base. That's my only concern right now for Aster.Aries, because like I mentioned before, as long as they don't even need their ultimates, to be honest, but if they have them, it's just so much potential. Like, the skewer into the fountain play is possible.
Wait,
Whereas,
Alt 11's in trouble. This was mass TPs down bot. They smoked again, I believe, on Dire. Alt 11, can he get the ultimate off? No! Wait, does he?
Aeon
He's got the Aghanim Shard. Now the charge in the ultimate afterwards. Who have they found? PYW? Oh, Blink. Oh, dude, that was so close timing. That was such a cool heads-up play from Aster.Aries. They had the ward on the by the bottom
Dire's
outpost on that high
turret
ground.
has
They
been killed.
instantly TP'd to their base, smoked, connected down bottom. I mean, almost killed off the Pango. They did get PYW, doesn't have a buyback.
Siamese Cat almost caught him as well. He was only half a second late for the Pangolier being able to get out. So they're hunting right now, and it feels like a very dangerous game to be playing if you're Vici. It's like, how do you come back into this game is the other question, right? It's not like you have the rat potential. It's not like one of these cores can potentially, just get it onto the backlines. A Clinks, a Lycan, hell, even like a Nature's Prophet. You have to be so committal with this Queen of Pain who, with the purchase of the AC, doesn't have buyback.
It
And
does
he's at least running out. Ulu only has about 10 seconds left on it as he's looking to build into that Abyssal Blade, try and get that burst lockdown needed on the likes of a Quap and a Magnus before they're able to get their key spells off.
I mean, he's almost completely 6-slotted. He's already got the Aghanim Shard and the Blessing. He's currently walking around without boots. Of course, heavily enabled with some of his itemization here. But
And the Warcry.
so this is looking still like a difficult task because the displacement that Vici Gaming have with the mag skewer, we've seen it time and time again. Like, you can really penalize an enemy team for going up high ground without a key pick-off.
He legit is like 6-slotted, right? There's not much point in him holding the cheese right now. I can't see a situation where he's going to be able to swap it out because the team fights are just so hectic.
Like,
There's so much that you need to be paying attention
Yeah.
to, especially the ultimates on Vici.
I really think it's more important on his team staying alive long enough. So, because I think you leave the Sven to last. I don't know how you go through him with BKB, Satanic, Flicker as well. Like, that's probably going to waste too many big ultimates. Unless they maybe, like, he's the one sieging and Poyo skewers him away from the team. Maybe
Sure.
that's how you find the open. But, like, the cheese is probably more...
I'd give it to Phoenix, and then as soon
Yeah.
as Aeon Disc pops, just swap it in.
Yeah, I think that's the big one. Because he's the one that needs to jump the back line. Like, he is under threat of being bursted. Even though he has this Aeon, it's a very good spot to pop the smoke. And in fact, Radiant, they're taking the outpost right now. High ground
division.
board. This could be decent for Aster.Aries with a jump in to simulate stun. They need to try and protect the Queen of Pain. They will be able to. Now with the backline though, they've instantly
will
dumped
they?
the line. Doesn't have a buyback. Oh, they still catch him out. Ulu. A jump on forward with the BKBs. Even drop the God Strength as well. Look at the crits. They can't deal with the Sven at the moment, so they have to kind of deal with the supports. As Baku, the next to fall, but still at least he gets the Ancient Seal off before the Pangolier can swashbuckle to safety. A triple for Ulu. Why not stack it up to an ultra kill as well? Is this man is just carrying them through fight after fight?
Didn't even need to use the Wolf's Bite for that one, and the Flicker as well. It was a pretty decent Fisher coming out there from PYW, actually trapping him inside the tree line after he'd killed the Queen of Pain, but just flickers over the top of it, doesn't give a damn about it all. And as well, on top of that, use the Storm Hammer to be able to disrupt the Aeon Disc, quickly burst down the Pangolier. This is looking like, I don't want to say a comfortable victory coming out for Aries, but they're in a really good spot.
They're in an incredible spot here.
Are fortified.
Maybe with God's Strength on cooldown, it's definitely something that Ulu heavily relies on. So Old 11's just going to try and make as much space as possible. They really don't want this buyback on Poyoyo.
Radiant's middle tower has
PYW
fallen.
is not going to jump in. Old 11, it's about to expire. So as the Aghanim Shard, even PYW if need be with the 4-staff. Now Phoenix too. What is going on deep inside the base? Now they've gone too deep, so the buybacks can come into play, but they squiff on the RP. Oh no. Poyoyo, they still get the Void Spirit for the whiff there. Not what you're looking for. And that's a heavy commitment too.
And you still get the tier 3 on top of that, let's not forget.
Oh. Is this you or me? Oh, this is me.
I'm lagging as well.
Okay. You stressed me out. I didn't hear you say anything. I'm like, oh no, it's not me.
Not again.
Oh,
Not the keyboard.
Man, not the keyboard. Dude, and we're not in lobby as well.
The wake
Oh,
of the conference,
Danog.
you will follow where I lead.
Lobby not found?
Oh my god.
Can you imagine, like, What happens then in that sort of situation?
No,
if the
it's
lobby just explodes? Because if I was Aster.Aries, I would be fuming if I was told like I have to remake that again because they had that match in the bag. I didn't have a look at the win probability, but it's like 90%.
no, the game's over.
Oh, did they
That's
win?
the issue. Yeah, that's the issue. Oh.
What a game! What a finish!
How do we both DC? And because we're not in the lobby, we're 5 minutes behind. Oh my god! All right. Well,
Congrats, Aster.Aries.
we don't know.
It was. I checked.
Okay.
I checked Otoba.
Okay. I don't even know how we can.
It is
All right, so hold on.
time
Go
for
to.
Celestials to
Let me just see if
unite,
it works for me
or
before you do it
fall
and
before
look like an
me.
absolute fool. All right, go to the watch tab. Go to tournaments, same place we normally go, and then just look under like where it says Vici Gaming versus Aster.Aries. Just
The
click it,
details.
and then details. Yeah.
All right. I mean, wow. Ulu in the end, 15, 2, and 10, has an incredible performance on the Sven. Like we've seen, 52,000 net worth as well. He was pretty much double the second highest. That's a crazy amount of farm that Ulu was able to get, and how they were.
I mean, he's got the Ag's Blessing. He's
That's
got
very
the
true.
Moon Shard. He's got the Academ Shard. He has every single item he could have possibly hoped for, even being able to finish up that AC in the end, right? Like, crazy amount of farm built onto him. And yeah, it just felt like these Earthshaker Silencer support openings revealed in the first three just lets you get Lycaned. And it wasn't even like the Lycan had a huge impact that game, but it was just the tower pressure that they were able to put on. And again, it was getting to that point, you know?
It felt like a big issue was like the misexecution of a lot of their spells. You have a Lycan and a Void Spirit, and even a Sven for that matter, just running down heroes like the Earthshaker and Silence that really heavily rely on surveying fights. Like you have to get good ultimates off. And if you have these heroes that are kind of splitting up in multiple angles to infiltrate these fights and not being able to get, you know, the 5-man global silence that you're looking for in a grouped up area, or a big echo slam for that matter, it really felt like it cost Vici. Like we were saying, their team fight as the game goes on is going to feel really superior to Aster.Aries, but it got to a stage where it surprisingly didn't feel like that, just because of how they were able to position themselves accordingly.
Now, we could do something. We could download the replay when it becomes available and cast the last 5 minutes of it, but it's up to you. They're already 10 out of 10 in the lobby for the next game, so
yeah, no, we'll
I kind of want to see how it ended, you know?
Is the it's still
not ready yet.
Still not ready. All right, so what we're gonna do is, apologies guys, for some reason we both got kicked out, and because we're not in the lobby, we couldn't join back straight away because we're watching through Dota TV with the 5-minute delay. So nothing we can do on our end. Just some good old issues of kicking the Aussie boys out of the match, unfortunately, and I do apologize about that. But nonetheless, though, Aster.Aries a pretty upset victory. It's down. Do we want to do it?
I want to look at the last 2 minutes. How about that?
Okay.
You don't need to cast it because we know how it ends, right? But just go out of it and back in.
Man.
Also, how are we going to be able to sync this up with starting at the same point? I guess I can pause it at a certain stage and then I'll be like, go to this part.
Okay. It's just not the generic feel to it. It's
like I don't like watching sports games on replay, for example, you know?
What time the game end? 52? What, jump in at 50?
Let's go 49.
Jump. Alright, well, I'm about to see Puyo die.
Yeah, so 49-40.
Okay.
Let's go 49-40.
Well, sorry, chat. That's a spoil right there.
Dire's bottom
It didn't
tower
happen.
is under attack.
What, so you're on...
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
49, 50, 51, 52.
Money changes hands.
I'll pause it at 50 if you want.
I'm on 50. I'm on 50 in a second, yeah? We go with that?
Yep.
Alright, let's go. This just does not feel, does not feel right.
I mean, some people like to know how there could be some Aster.Aries fans here. They're sitting towards the bottom of the leaderboard, right? And,
Yeah.
you know, a win against the like of Vici, their fans would love to see it. And, well, there's Poyoyo getting jumped on with the double damage through from the Sven. Brings him up to his level 30. And, yeah. No buyback.
Okay, so they get that, they get Roche, and they walk down mid. Refresher shard. Who would you give the shard to? Like, ideally, in that scenario, you're looking for, I guess, double God Strength and BKB is pretty nice. He's got real slot issues, though, on Ulu.
He's dropping the clarity.
It's like, what do I hold right now? I'm so slot dependent. I mean, I really feel like Sven in the meta right now is, he's got some pretty decent buffs. Like
We're not quite the Superman stage where, you know,
That was
at level
busted.
15 you were just this beast.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that it's the way that it is now, you know, locked behind multiple different items.
Yeah, without a doubt. It feels like, though, the games we've been seeing, he's been doing a ridiculous amount of damage late game. Like, there's no one... And teams haven't been able to kite the God Strength. Like, this is one of the big issues about the hero. Like, how heavily you rely on that ultimate to dish out your damage. And if teams can't reset after it...
Now, I don't know what it is, but I feel like this game might end in the next minute or so.
Yeah, maybe this fight. I don't know. Probably this one is when they end it.
And he still hasn't even been wolf bitten throughout all of this.
He doesn't need the wolf bite. Look at him. This Ag Stormhammer. Dude, it's crazy.
Radiant's middle barracks has
I
fallen.
cannot believe they won.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Just like having a look at his net worth now, right? Just check it out.
Yeah, I mean, 50k. Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Radiant's middle
I think he's
tower
just trying to
has
rush
fallen.
and he
Oh?
wants that sweet.
Oh my god, you couldn't get any better than that last team fight from Vici. You legitimately could not get any better, and they still couldn't kill him. They didn't even tickle his first Aegis life.
True, but maybe they could have waited the extra 5 seconds for the Magnus to be alive, right? It was a great Echo Slam, but what if it was an RP skewer into the fountain? That could have, like, they'd only taken 1 set of racks. There was a legitimate opportunity for them to come back into that game in my eyes.
Dude, that would have been such a good team fight to cast. I'm actually so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. Alright, well, for the boys on Aster.Aries, a incredible game one, securing them the victory here 52 minutes in on the back of Ulu going 15-2-10 with 52,000 net worth. I mean, his damage dealt as well was through the roof, the highest out of everyone in the game. It's going to be a much shorter break in between game one and game two. Let's pray that they don't do us dirty again and kick us out before the game ends, but we'll be back game two around the corner.